tootsies.
Let's do some catching up. Let's do some catching up.
I said what?
Let's do some catching up
I said
with each other now.
Say what?
Boys, how's it going after our long Valentine's break? Everybody recovered yet?
Getting jacked up on coffees. Cold brews, baby.
Jules is turning it up to 11 like normal.
Yeah.
We are coming to you after the production of our Valentine's banquet. I like to call it a banquet.
I do too. Yeah. It's a good. Nobody uses that enough anymore unless it's like some like affluent party.
Yeah, my family growing up, everything used to be a banquet.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the father-daughter. We had this like father-daughter dates, you know? It was like, and they would call it a father-daughter banquet. The father-daughter banquet, or the Christmas banquet, or the Valentine's banquet.
I always associated it with like wealth, I guess.
Yeah, interesting, because we were broke.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
So we did a Valentine's banquet. Hopefully everybody who's listening had the chance to check that out. If not, this podcast I don't think will be coming out in time for people to still go check it out online. But if you go subscribe to the patreon.com/live at the lodge, you can...
What is it again?
patreon.com/live at the lodge. For as little as $5 a month, you can get all the extra fun content that we're doing. You can get full episodes of Live at the Lodge. You can also get the variety shows that those currently aren't up, but they would be up shortly.
Are these variety shows?
Well, no. So the first one was a variety show.
Uh-huh.
Like the initial concept of what led to like the Christmas special and the Valentine's Day special was a variety show.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you wrote the Christmas special, it was more like a special, I guess.
This was a movie.
It was a banquet.
Or a movie. It was a banquet.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Steve.
I know. Well, that's a weird thing because I'm always trying to explain to
Keeping
people.
us on board.
I'm trying to explain to people what these things even are because it's an interesting thing because it brings in music and music is at the forefront of it. So it's a concert. I think primarily.
Yeah, I think special is the right.
But that doesn't give people like they're just like okay. Like if I heard special, I'd be like, okay.
You think yourself.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's just about JP Gavs.
Talking short bus special, bro.
Yeah. I'll take it, dude. So yeah, I just always want to know how to explain it to people the best way for them to understand what it even is that we're doing because it gets a little convoluted, I think, for people.
Yeah, I don't think movie is the way to express it. I think more like special because it is based around music. And so whenever I think of like the John Denver special, I think of like, okay, well, it's going to be based around music because it's a musician. But maybe there's something special. Maybe there's a little bow tie on top of it.
But this last one especially was written by the influence of This Is Spinal Tap. So it's like it is a movie, just as similarly to that one.
What's your opinion, Steve?
Am I wrong in that, Steve?
Steve's gone.
You pass out? I said, I'm just wondering, like, Alan and I are kind of arguing over whether it's a movie or a special, and like I get both, but this one was kind of written and taken from This Is Spinal Tap as a heavy influence.
How have you explained these, like the Valentine's and the Christmas special specifically? How have you explained it to your friends? Julian and I are trying to explain it as like one through line adjective, which is like, is it a movie? Is it a special? Is it a concert? Is like, what is it?
I don't know. I've just been super apologetic to everyone that's watched it.
Yeah. Sorry, we did this thing, and you can watch it, but sorry in advance.
Yeah.
Steve's just going around. He's apologizing to people at Trader Joe's. Yeah. They're like, "Who are you, dude? I can't even see your face." Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry for my movie.
There you go. You just called it a movie. See, he did it without even thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was the Valentine's Day movie.
It's a special. It's a special. It was like.
Yeah, I feel like it's a special.
I just don't know what a special. I mean, whatever. It's all. It's
its own thing.
Yeah, it's all.
Because it's not really even I guess it could be closely connected to a musical. Maybe like that would be even. I wouldn't go as far as saying movie. because I don't feel like movie is the right definition. Musical is closer. I think special is the groove, because it's like it's for a holiday, which I think constitutes special.
Mm-hmm.
It's based around music. Its primary form
Mm-hmm.
is for the purpose of sharing songs and music.
Yeah.
So
I guess just moving forward, since it seems like we're going to probably be doing these things, I want to make movies.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to make movies. I make movies. That's what I do for my life. And I guess like I get maybe just like inherently I attach my own desire to call it a movie, which, you know, doesn't really matter that much with that part of my identity, where I'm just like, oh, I'm an actor and I make movies and I like to make movies. And so, and because you're a musician, you're like, oh yeah, well, like I'm not that.
No, I would love
like,
to. I would love to make a movie.
And I'm just sorry.
Yeah.
And Steve's just apologetic. Steve's our street cred. Steve's our PR agent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no wonder we're not making it.
Yeah. Damn it.
No, I would be thrilled to make a movie, but until I feel like I make one, I don't want to call it a movie yet.
When do you feel like you will ever make one? Like, when will you actually be like, anything is actually what it is for yourself?
One, we don't do covers or songs that I've already written.
Yeah. Right.
Totally.
That would be like if we did an all original, which you and I, Jules, have talked about this. Steve, I think you've been on this conversation as well, is that kind of after we did the Christmas special and we wrote the Valentine's Day special, I was like, why can't I just make a record like this? Mm-hmm. Obviously way more work. But instead of doing like, 8 or 9 Christmas songs and then 3 original songs from old records, why not write a script and then within that script go in and go, okay, this type of song needs to go here. Let's write that song. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the production, you have like an album, almost like what movies like Once or Sing Street. I don't know if you guys have seen these movies.
Yeah, they're great.
It's essentially a musical, but then they have a full length album at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And that
not at the end, throughout.
Sorry, I mean like when they're finished putting the movie out.
Right, that's the album is attached.
That's the album.
Yeah,
like they just have an album that you're like, I want to go listen. Right, exactly. It's all original stuff. We've been doing covers and
right. We've been cheating.
Some originals. Not cheating, we've just been doing specials.
We've just been doing what we know how to do.
We've been doing what we can do in 10 days.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, which is pretty. I'm always kind of blown away by what you're capable of if you just put a deadline in front of you.
It's crazy.
But that would be I think that's my next creative mountain that I get really excited about is.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first.
Yep. Is writing with the little posse that we've assembled to make these films a movie that is connected to a full-length album. Mm-hmm. That you then can take the full-length album and go and tour it and share it to everybody, but at the beginning of it you have a movie that you are able to debut to your family and your core and your fan group, and it would just be a blast. It'd be a blast to see if we could do it.
Yeah. I think it's definitely in our cards. I think we're definitely going to do that eventually, and then maybe more than just one. I think this is the new way that we create, at least as far as like the three of us are concerned. Like we all have our own lives outside of each other's lives, but when we're creating together, it seems like this is kind of the momentum that it's moving in towards making these movies, towards making these hopefully originals. However, I want to make the Western still, because I think
the spaghetti
it's a
Western.
really cool idea. And honestly, like
you wants to see me in chaps.
Are you laughing because you think it's silly and stupid, or are you laughing?
It was my idea.
I know, it's awesome. It's so good, and I every time I think about it, it just makes me kind of giggle.
I think when we do it, like how far back spaghetti Western? Like, are we talking subtitles and just like really?
It can just be,
shot in like 10 frames per second.
Sepia tone. Yeah.
Big
I'm
vignette.
just thinking Three Amigos.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, does it take place in history, or is it like an alternate universe that's happening now in current times, and we're just like stuck in this headspace of ourselves? And
I don't know. I think it'd be really fun to just make it like old, like make it seem like it's old.
Yeah, I want to get horses.
Okay.
I want to ride a stallion.
I wonder where you go. Maybe that's our
dude.
next.
We live in Spokane. We're here in Spokane.
Do you guys think that there's like an Uber for horses, like an Airbnb for horses?
There's definitely like horse rentals. You can just rent horses.
Of course,
sure.
but like, is it an app that you just like? Oh, look at.
I mean,
look at Brown Sugar. She looks really sweet.
If they're smart, yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's our $1 million idea right now. I just had it.
God damn it. Here we go again. We got to start something new.
Look it up.
We got horses, donkeys,
equestrian
goats. Yeah, like it's E-equestrian.
Yeah.
Oh, Julian just had the name. Write that down, Stephen J.
E-question.
Do you guys want me to come up with the flyer right now on Adobe Illustrator? I got it on my lap.
Yeah, let's spend the whole podcast just doing that. No, but I really want to make that Western. I think you're going back to Australia with Taz, or back. You and Taz are going to Australia for a couple months. I'm heading back to New York for a while. Steve is holding down the fort, and I want to utilize a portion of my time going back to New York writing that. I think like
the cowboy one or the full or the full length original.
Because I think it's never easy. Like, but because I imagine we'd do West like country music, right?
So yeah, I was thinking about this recently because the spaghetti Western sound like I love the idea. I think it'd be a blast. But these things always seem to work really well surrounded by a holiday.
Yeah, but 4th of July.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Exactly, yeah, 4th of July.
Because I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Kind of.
And I'm proud to be the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Jules put a little bit of frosting on the end there. Did you hear that?
Mustard on his
well,
dog.
you know, when you got frosted tips, you got to put frosting on everything.
Okay, Stevie baby. Oh my God, have we got a show for you, dude? Me and Jules just
so
finished watching on HBO Max How To with John Wilson. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Oh man,
Bro,
you got to.
Oh my God, it is so funny.
Yeah.
It's like awkward, hilarious, dry humor.
I like that sometimes.
You need to check it out. This guy, John Wilson, he lives in New York City. He does all these like off the wall how-tos. Like he did a how-to scaffolding.
Yeah, how to scaffolding.
Or what was it
How to
about?
understand scaffolding.
Yeah, how to understand scaffolding. He just went around and made like a whole hour-long episode about scaffolding in New York. But it's like, it's really odd humor. It's all the shit that like, okay, so you know when Jules and I watch movies and like something that nobody else thinks is funny happens, but if you rewind it enough times, it becomes funny?
Yep.
So
Yes, I do.
this
What I do
whole...
with these podcasts when I rewatch them.
Yep, exactly. This show is like just stock full of those moments where just he catches the most weird things happening in a voyeuristic manner. Super funny.
It's really cool because it's almost bigger than what I think he sets out to do, in that he like tells these stories of like human beings in these just really, really strange situations and circumstances that we were talking about it last night. It's like, I wonder if he even like knows what he's doing when he sets out to start one of these episodes, because it seems like he just goes around and captures stuff and then is like, all right, that's what I'm going to make the episode about, because this is so bizarre.
Yeah,
and he kind of digs into it.
What?
How to with John
It's
Wilson.
called How To with John Wilson. Yeah, we were trying to figure out exactly what he does to put the episodes together, because we're like, you can't just go out and be like, I'm gonna like do an episode on scaffolding. I mean, maybe
It just right, yeah.
and then he just catches all the most odd. God, he did one on circumcision. He did how to be how to.
No, it wasn't. The episode wasn't about circumcision. The episode was about like covering your furniture.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was like how to preserve furniture, and then like the
circumcision just bled into that.
Right, like covering your parts. Bro, he had this guy on, I wish I could pull the clip up right now and show
so
you, but I
funny.
think we'll get pulled from whatever things we can't be on. I just wish we could play the clip because it's so fun. I want to show Steve right now and get his reaction. Anyways, folks at home, Steve, watch How To with John Wilson. It is very funny.
It's really good.
You got to
really
give
noted.
it some time because it's slow. But
Yeah.
like once you get into like episode 2 or 3, you're gonna
yeah.
be. I feel like you're gonna
laugh out loud comedy.
Laugh out loud.
It's funny because I always feel like, oh, I'm gonna find these people on Instagram. I'm gonna reach out, get them on the podcast, and
Yeah.
I just think like by making friends with them on Instagram,
Yeah.
like I'm like there it is. We're set, dude. Like that's all I needed to do.
But
We got 'em.
how do you go about making friends with people on Instagram? Like you reach out to them?
Well, so I did that with the guy Derek Del Gaudio, who made that In and of Itself movie.
Yeah.
Steve, have you seen that one yet?
No.
Oh,
Dude, you have to, man. Put those on your list, man. This guy made this live show performance of he's a magician, but it's like this really honest approach to like identity and who we all are as people, and it's so beautiful.
That's been on my list. I just want to get in the headspace for it.
It's so cool.
I've been
man.
rewatching Sex and the City.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, dude.
is it?
Sweet.
Is it? We were watching
Yes.
this. We were watching this the other day, because that was part of his episode was the Mandela effect.
Oh yeah.
And he
What a
was
trip.
talking about all the. He went and interviewed a bunch of people who were like convinced that Mandela effect means that there's like parallel universes happening at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City?
I'm having sex and the city
Yeah.
In it or on or and it?
everywhere.
Yeah,
That was
all over the
They're all
city.
very interesting episodes.
Folks, do
but,
not sit down on any surfaces because Stephen J. Libby has had sex on the city.
And or around it. Where
Within the city. Sex within the city.
I think just to answer the question, I reach out to people, and you know whether or not they reach back out to me is typically not.
are you certified on Instagram, Jules?
No. So there,
Bro, there's your
There
biggest
goes.
problem. You got to have
That's
that blue check mark.
hey, podcast listeners, can you come follow me so I can get famous already? God, I'm sick of this no check mark shit.
I think you have to submit for it.
Submit?
You have to submit to be verified, yeah.
I've already done it 6 times, dude.
Really?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Got
Do it,
denied.
Jules. Please
Yeah.
do it.
Why? Well, I mean, yeah, I say why. Like, why should I? It's like
The blue check mark, man,
What does it do? Does it like get you right into like people's
no, it
inbox?
just means that like when you're scrolling through your DMs,
you just
like
see
if I'm
that and you're
scrolling
like, oh,
through my
sweet, I'm gonna read
DMs,
that
I
one.
see a check mark and I just naturally it's a natural highlight. It doesn't mean that I always read somebody who has a blue check mark's DM if I see it. Whereas if it doesn't have a blue check mark, I'll
Right.
read it, sometimes I won't, depending
Right.
on how much time I want to spend on the toilet and how numb my knees
It's
are.
so
at that
interesting
point.
because like there's a bunch of messages that come through. Speaking of this, that go to like a general or like a primary inbox, and and when Teddy Swims was here, he was like, "Yeah, bro, you got to really like organize that and make." He's like, "See, these are all like my friends who like I will respond to," and then these like. You know, it just says 99 plus. It says it on yours too. Are just like these incoming messages that
Yeah.
are constantly coming in.
Yeah,
that are like
Teddy Swims seems like Teddy's very active on the socials.
Yeah.
I can't. Well, I could, but I'm not.
You don't spend that much time on the John.
I don't spend that. I get about 20 minutes, and then my wife starts making fun of me.
you let your legs go numb first, and then you're just like, all right, I got to get up. These are gonna fall
Well,
off.
I have so many other things that I want to check too.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I'm on the toilet for about 20 minutes. That's like my phone time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where I
Researching
don't,
scaffolding.
nobody's looking at me, looking down at me, looking down on me going, your child is only going to be this young for this long.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sit on the toilet and I check Zillow. I like to check out
love
the old
that.
local real estate listings,
I
see
know.
what's popping.
I know.
I like to check out my news app.
But you like to check out Zillow and look at like, dude, you always pull over and show me your phone. You're like, hey, dude, check this out. I'm like, Alan, it's $48 million. What are you doing? And then he's just like, dude, like if you don't like envision it, how are you ever going to reach for it? I'm just like, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Have literally never said that.
You just said it like 2 days ago.
That's
It was
if
like
I
an
said that is
$8.7
the
million home.
corniest thing I've ever
You're
said.
corny.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
we were talking about the other day because we
Sorry.
spent the weekend in Sandpoint, which we should pull up. How do I pull up videos on your Instagram?
I don't know. Let's go to your Instagram and then go to mine.
Let's go to old Insta.
God, man, we fell through.
Oh wait, so we spent.
I just have to give it to you my phone. I can just send you the video.
Yeah, airdrop it to the Mac Mini. So we went and spent a weekend over in Sandpoint, which we were hoping Stevie Boy and Laura could come, but Laura decided to go to New York City and
stay in my bed.
The clap.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? And but we went over there, and dude, Sandpoint is like on Lake Pend Oreille, which any lake in America just always has palatial real estate listings. So like
turn on that Wi-Fi. Sorry, keep talking.
I like to hop on the old Zillow and just see like dude, there were properties around Sandpoint listed for $28 million.
That's crazy.
And I was talking to Jules and our friend Ty about it. I'm like, look, I like looking at properties that price is kind of like me looking at an exotic animal in a zoo. Because the fact that people are able to not only afford that much, like that high of a number, but I feel so disconnected with their experience in the world that it's almost like being curious about like a fucking gnome or an elf, or like there's the universe that is them seems so different from my perspective on the world. That's another reason why it's kind of curious. Also, I like elevators in houses, and I think that's pretty interesting. Check out this video. This is fun. Why don't you switch it over to the old big dog,
I always wonder
Stevie?
if those people that like, I'm sure there are multiple people who get those houses and have this amount of wealth that's ridiculous, but I wonder a lot of those people came from nothing to get there, or if they just were like born into that. I'm sure there's both of those.
I mean, I think that's that's a really deep rabbit hole, like because there's very few people I think that come from nothing, like absolutely nothing.
Well, right, of course, but
and
like
get somewhere. Meaning like I know a couple people that have like were adopted. Like mom was a crackhead, like literally came from nothing.
Yeah,
and now are fully formed, functional, wealthy people.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit different than like even if I became this like super rich. Because I mean, granted, like there's just things that we've all have the privilege of having. One is a 2-parent home.
Right.
Jules, I know your parents were divorced, but you have relationships with both your parents. Right. Just having both your parents in the home gives you a higher advantage than most people in the world. Skin color, the place where you were born, and the school that you would go. Right. Like there's a lot of privilege.
It is a rabbit hole.
So it is a super rabbit hole that you can go down, but like
speaking of a hole to go down.
Speaking of a hole, dude. Like let's pretend like we're on a late night talk show and you have to set up the little clip for the movie you're promoting right now.
Okay, so me and my best BB, Jules, we show up to the cabin and it's right on the lake. And it's freezing outside, snow on the ground, a little bit of ice on the lake. And Julian and I, we like contrast. So for the last couple years, I've been really into like cold showering and this Wim Hof ideology of going like into super cold water and slowing down your breathing. And anyways, you can dig into that if you want. Wim Hof is his name. W-Y-M, I think, or W-I-M.
I can't remember. You pay attention.
Either or, you'll find it. So naturally, Julian and I see a body of water that has frozen ice over it, and we're like, let's go do polar plunge, bro. Let's set this weekend off perfect.
Like 15 minutes into getting there.
Yeah, like 15 minutes into getting there, 2 tequila shots deep.
Yeah.
So we're definitely in our right mind. And we just hop out into our skivvies thinking that we're just going to break through the ice like right as we walk on it. Well, come to find out, we had to cruise out quite a ways in order to get to ice that was thin enough. This is us in our polar plunge. You want to sneak this over to the old live situation?
Hold on. Make sure the volume's up too, because you could hear my reaction when
it's
Alan
up
falls.
pretty high over here.
Okay.
Yep.
I love this video.
All right, we ready?
Ready, go.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh no! And then we got stuck. Okay, breathe.
I'm
breathe.
so scared right there.
Oh my god!
I'm so scared. Oh my god! I'm so scared, but instantly felt better.
Oh man, it was scary.
I fell in, and I mean, I didn't know how deep out we were.
Yeah.
Right. Like sometimes you're out like two inches, and you land straight on like sharp rock.
Yeah, I did.
I hit sand, luckily, but it was easily over my head. It was like 8.5 feet.
8.5 feet?
Yeah, it was pretty deep out there.
He went under. Like, but so he's commenting just like, dude, he just. I won't say what the thing was. I know.
That boy just disappeared.
That boy just disappeared, man. It's so funny because he just drops, and then I'm like reacting to him dropping, and then drop myself. It was such a gnarly.
Go back over to it. I want to show you the best part. Look at Julian's reaction to me falling in. Let's see if I can turn this.
Hold on. First and foremost, look at the difference in tans.
Yeah, shut up there, Chase Models. You did like 9 tanning
I know, I
sessions.
still got 12.
There's no plural tans.
I still have so many tans left, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to use them because I don't have any reason to use them anymore. But I'm just like, dude, I do like being tan. So,
Yeah.
And I was making a nice relationship with the woman at the front desk. She was so sweet.
Oh, that's great, man. Go back there. Check her out.
Sunny Buns. Shout out.
Stevie baby, check this out. So this is, I just want folks at home, if you're listening to this, obviously this is a different experience. What you're seeing if you go to the YouTube is me falling through the ice, submerging 100% like over my head. I disappear. I disappear here in a couple seconds, but I want folks to try and hear Julian's reaction.
Don't laugh.
Oh my god.
Huh?
Oh my god. Oh shit.
Dad.
You okay? Breathe.
Dad.
You're okay? You're okay. Breathe.
Okay, breathe.
Oh, Julian's having a meltdown.
Man, it was
Oh my
scary.
God.
Sounds a little like when we were just going,
Dad.
Yeah.
Right, Dad's an idiot.
yeah, so I got a little bit of that in there.
Yeah.
Dad.
Well, we went back on our last day because our friend Ty showed up and he was just like, let's get in again. So we actually dug a little walkway out into the water and then all stayed in for like 45 seconds and it was much nicer. I mean, awful still.
Oh my God, it was so cold.
So cold.
I don't know how. I do like cold showers. I've never properly
got in ice.
I've
That's
done
cold.
ice baths when I was younger, like doing sports, but I've never. I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah,
Yikes! It is
super cold.
WIM.
Hey, folks, today our episode is brought to you in part by our good friends at Ladder Coffee. Head to laddercoffee.com and you can order beans directly from the brewer, as well as some of this beautiful cold brew. Locally owned and operated out of Spokane, Washington. Check it out, Ladder Coffee.
I'm jacked.
WIM, Wim Hof, folks. Wim Hof. I'll show you a little picture of old Wimmy Hoffy. He's a crazy German man. Look at him.
Looks cool.
Wim Hof. Let's go. We can see what some of the Wikipedia of Wim Hof here. Born 1959, also known as the Iceman. His records. On March 16th, 2000, Hof set the Guinness World Record for farthest swim under ice with a distance of 188 feet
Wow.
under the ice.
8.5 feet. Al, you're on your way.
Yeah.
But
Al didn't swim. He just submerged underneath.
Plunked.
the swim at a lake near Pello, Finland was filmed for a Dutch television program, and a test run the previous day almost ended in disaster when his corneas started to freeze over when he was swimming blind.
That's a crazy
A
shit.
diver rescued him as he was starting to lose consciousness. Wow.
That's like that. That's people that do stuff like that are so fascinating to me. Like my corneas had to explode before I realized I needed to get out. Like David Goggins, this like ultra extreme athlete, marathon runner. It's just like, yeah, man, do these like ultra marathons that are 250 miles, and you know, at 120 miles, I'm shitting my pants and just continuing to run through it. My legs are broken, like I got poop in my pants, and you just gotta mind over matter. It's just like, Christ, dude,
this is crazy. On January 26, 2007, Hoff set a world record for fastest half marathon barefoot on ice and snow with a time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 34 seconds.
the fastest half
marathon
Who
barefoot.
else is doing it?
Well, so dig
What's
this.
the competition there?
So dig this. Of course, this record was surpassed on January 17th, 2021 by Czech Josef Salek.
Let's kill him. Sorry.
Hour and 30, dude. He beat it by a half an hour barefoot on ice. What
Damn.
a savage. Okay.
I can't run
This
13
is stupid.
miles that.
Hoff climbed to an altitude of 23,600 feet on Mount Everest wearing nothing but shorts and shoes, but aborted the attempt due to a recurring foot injury on February 2009. Bro,
Do you guys have any?
Iceman's crazy.
Do you guys have any like goals in your life that are just only for you, that you feel like are unreachable, similarly to this, that you're just like, I gotta do it, I gotta do something like that?
Eat the whole menu at Costco in one sitting.
Eat the whole menu at the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, that's impossible. There's no way.
Oh man, yeah, that's hard. I want to climb a mountain. I think it'd be cool.
Which one would you go
I mean,
for?
I'd start with like Rainier out here, which is totally doable. But then I would
How
like
tall is Mount Rainier?
I think it's pretty low. I think some people do it in a day, but I think some people like to make it like a weekend trip or something like that.
Let's check it out. Mount Rainier.
Yeah, I'd like to get more into like fitness training stuff. I would like to do a marathon at some point in my life. It's not crazy to do a marathon.
Mount Rainier is 14,000 feet.
Yeah.
Which is gnarly. Like, Park City's only like 7,000 feet.
How big is Everest?
So Everest is like 24 or 26 or something crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro.
That's bonk. Kilimanjaro.
Would you guys ever do any of these things? Would you guys ever climb a mountain
Climb
like
a
that?
mountain.
Nah, I've seen a tree.
I've seen a tree.
Mount Everest is 29,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was like
feet.
31 or something like that. It's
God, that's
crazy.
insane, man. I follow this guy on Instagram named Colin O'Brady.
I do too. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, and he just attempted to climb K2.
Mm-hmm.
No, Everest. No, I think it was K2.
He's done all of them.
So he just tried to climb K2 like 3 weeks ago. Was at base camp with like 4 or 5 guys that he's known for a long time. And he decided not to go to the summit. And these other 4 friends of his went. They all died.
Oh,
Jesus.
Savage, right?
dark.
Super dark, man. But like, what's crazy is that you can, I don't know what it is about social media or Instagram or something, but like certain things tend to like impact me enormously on those platforms, and some things don't. And like I had to see like 5 or 6 posts of his to realize that these friends of his had passed away. And it was like, I don't know, it was super weird. Anyways, sorry to take it dark, but
No, that's okay. That's the sacrifice you make when you go do something super gnarly like that.
Yeah.
I'm interested in a lot of things outside of what my current interests are in my life. I want to kind of challenge myself in these crazy ways.
Climb a mountain, my friend.
Climb a mountain. I also want to go do like a silent retreat. I've talked to you about it before. Like
Good luck, Jules.
I know I'm fucking loud as shit, and that's why I want to do it.
It's like what we're talking about is in my wheelhouse, freezing cold and quiet. I got these on lock, guys.
Yeah, Steve might be our little spiritual guide on that trip. My friend Mike Posner walked across the United States. When I first met him, he was kind of talking about it. He's like, yeah, like I just always wanted to walk across the United States. And then he did it. He almost died. He got bit by like a baby rattlesnake.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of his podcasts talking about it. It's crazy.
Wild story. Baby rattlesnakes, I'm sure you guys know this, but baby rattlesnakes can't regulate the amount of venom that they release when they bite. And so baby rattlesnakes are actually more dangerous than a full-grown rattlesnake because they just bite and all of the let it flow, baby.
Most venomous creatures.
Yeah, the most. And I think, was it a copperhead or a rattlesnake? I'm not positive. I think it was a
we should get him
a rattlesnake.
Interesting talk.
You should do the, was it the Pacific Coast Trail or whatever, Jules? You should do that hike.
Where's that? Out here?
It's just like down the coast, from, I think it comes into Washington and goes all the way down to Mexico.
Yeah, I got a lot of things I want to do.
I've had a couple friends do parts of it, and they love it.
Do parts. Look at his foot in this one.
You can like start it and then do like a bit, and then you end up in a town. So it's kind of like paced out like that, where you can do the whole thing, or you can do a stint and then like
that's
do the
awesome.
next stint the next summer or whatever you want.
Yeah.
Check out his foot here, Steve. You can pop over there.
Oh,
Yikes.
So obviously he got bit on the right foot.
What happened to his... Yeah.
So he got bit on the right foot. His left foot he sprained after...
He took a pill in Ibiza, dude.
Look at this, man. What a savage. He's such an interesting character, man. He's so like crazy full of life.
Seems cool.
Intense human being. Look at that one. Jeez. Look at that pic. Folks who are just listening to this, we're looking at Mike Posner's foot after he got bit by a rattlesnake. Which, by the way, homie's been walking at that point like across half of America. So his foot aren't looking good anyway.
Yeah.
It's like he's not coming fresh off a manicure.
It's awesome,
here.
man. I admire that a lot, man.
Listen, bro. You want to get bit by a snake? We can help you out, dude. There's plenty.
No, I don't want to get bit by. I mean, but that's like these are things that are like, they're not, but they seem like rites of passage for that experience. Like you don't go decide to walk across America and like not have awful things happen along the way. But those are just the experiences that you walk away from, and you're like, man, I have so much more value for life because of those experiences. Sure. And I'm sure he'll say the same thing. I can't speak for him, but I think those are the takeaways from those experiences that are.
Well, he's
like, man.
he's like gone. He's full head in now. Like he's a mountain man now.
He doesn't play music anymore. I'm sure.
He released like 4 albums last year. So he's releasing music all the time, but he's like climbing. I'm pretty sure he climbed. I thought I saw him in a picture with Colin O'Brady, like at K2 base camp, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
Posner's
awesome.
up there with him. I'm always surprised at where he's posting from, because he's like, hey guys, just in Nepal right now.
I love people who are really good at something but then have like so many side hobbies that
they
go
live
out
life elsewhere.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh man, you don't seem to focus on this thing that you do at all. And you focus on everything else that you want to be doing, and then that other thing just kind of is a byproduct of your life.
Yeah, it's interesting because I spent a week with Mike at his he was renting out a spot in Venice, and me and this guy Adam, who's like was helping produce his record at the time. Mike just isn't distracted. Like, we spent a week there. There wasn't a TV. We didn't go to the bar. We didn't go out to restaurants. There wasn't any chicks over. It was like he woke up at like 6 a.m., went and exercised, we started our day at like 8. We worked from 8 until like 7:30, 8, and then we went to bed at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's just focused, and he's not maybe allowing too many distractions into his life. I think about how many distractions I have in my life. Since having a child, I've gotten rid of quite a few distractions.
Yeah.
But even still, man, like I watch a show a night pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm still trying, like I love shows. I love like sitting back after dinner and watching a TV show. And in reality, like it is benefiting my life in a capacity, but But if you cut that out, I mean, there's another 2 hours of the day that you have. That's 14 hours a week.
Totally.
That's adds up.
Yeah, I think, speaking for myself, I have uncountable character defects, but at the same time, I think when I put myself into some kind of purpose with the intention of accomplishing something, all of the distractions that are typically I'm consumed by are slowly fade away. So like I need to be doing that. That's why I kind of craved, going. I was gonna drive back from here back to New York when I left, but looks like I'm running out of time. But I still want to like go get a spot by myself. I want to do these mountain climbs. I want to do all these things. Go on a silent retreat. Go just have these experiences where I'm kind of just like be able to focus and pull away the distractions of my life because I feel so enslaved to them so often, and I don't want to, and I'm aware of that, so it's worse because it's just like shit, man.
Yeah, what's interesting is I think it was Dan told me this at one point. We have a mentality, at least I do personally. I'll do all these other things when I make enough money doing this thing, or when I like get to a specific point, and because I'm always kind of blown away by people who manage, just like Mike or Dan, to like have a bunch of things like hobbies. Like Dan, who plays bass in the Live at the Lodge house band, he plays music like 20 hours a week, and he also has a huge real estate business and remodels and builds homes, like just redoes cars. Like he just has time to do all these fun things. Same with Posner. Posner climbs every mountain. I think he climbed like 30 mountains last year, some crazy amount of mountains. And I think the concept was like, why wait to do them? Like, don't wait for a point to do these things that you want to do, or an amount of, if I get this much achievement, then I'll allow myself to do these other things that I don't push them off. Just just book them.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I definitely resonate with that thought process, and I just hope that I stick to it. I feel like I'm pretty dedicated to my own truth when I want to be. When I say I'm going to do something, I typically do it.
Live your truth, baby. Live your truth.
Live my truth, baby.
Steve, what's your you have anything on the old docket that you've always wanted to do? You want to throw out the first pitch at a Pedro's game, or
Pedro's? Are those a real team?
Pedro's.
Aren't they San Diego Padres? Sorry.
I was like, who the fuck are the
Pedro's the character
I
in Major
believed
League.
you.
Padres.
Yeah, Pedro's are the double-A team underneath the Padres.
Yeah, my dream is to hit DH for the Pedro's.
We can make that happen, dude.
The Pedros.
I think that's the name of our spaghetti western softball team.
It's not a Pedro's.
Definitely. That's hilarious. You got any?
Yodel.
You want to yodel from the top of the mountaintop?
Yodel.
Yodelay, 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 yodelay. You gotta like crack your voice, I feel like, and like break in and out of like falsetto.
What's hard is they're going like 4 or 5 octaves.
Yeah.
In just the crack of your voice. Yeah.
Whoever used to watch Doug back in the day, not Mr. Dink. Mr. Dink was the neighbor. The principal of the school could always yodel, and I remember being like, man, that voiceover actor is crushing the yodels. It was so good. Did you ever watch Doug, or were you not allowed?
Skill?
No, I watched Doug, but I don't remember much of it.
Yeah,
I remember the girl that had the football head, or did Doug have the football
That's
head?
Helga, dude. You're thinking about no, that's actually Arnold in Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Move it, football head. Pull
up.
I think my interest would be more like doing a big cat safari or something like that.
Yeah.
I always liked snorkeling when I was younger.
Dude, you gotta go scuba diving, man. Scuba diving is the greatest thing.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. I mean, growing up in SoCal, it was like you had those outlets, and that was always awesome just to go to the reefs and go out to like Catalina and stuff.
Did you go proper scuba diving with like an oxygen tank?
Yeah.
Are you certified,
Are
Steve?
you certified?
I think it expires, but I did it in high school.
Yeah, my brother and I do it every time we go on vacations. It's so fun, man. We've gone cenote diving before, which is they have a lot of these cenotes out in Tulum, and they're basically just these caverns that have been created from rainwater over hundreds of thousands of years, and you go down and swim into them, and they're fresh water. Sometimes they bleed into the ocean, and you're just like, it's weird because like when you're in open water and you're scuba diving, you know that you're in open water because you can see kind of like the current moving the bacteria around, even when you're like not looking at a reef or fish or something. But when you're in these cenotes, it's pitch black because you're in a cave. You typically are with like a flare or like a underwater light of some kind, and you're just surrounded by like stalagmites and stalactites from like the rock formations that have like been created from this rainwater over these years, and it's all stagnant.
That's
completely
crazy.
So you're just like, what is going on right now?
Stagnant
Natural
meaning
isolation.
just
Like
like
the water's not moving, there's
at
no
all.
current, there's no bacteria in it. It's all just still, and it's totally pitch black, and like
sounds terrifying.
it's really crazy. But then you'll see like way out in the distance, like where the because they typically start in a pool, like the pool gets started and then it goes down and creates this big cave that you go scuba diving through. And you'll see like way in the distance just a beaming like blue light coming from where the pool is, and the sun is shining into it. It's such a cool experience. And then sometimes the ocean water mixes because it'll go out to the actual ocean, and it'll mix with the fresh water, and you go down far enough and both of the waters start creating this like oil like illusion. So you're like, you're trying to like see, you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's just like, it's all like oily and crazy. It's just such a trip. But
sounds like a
scuba
blast.
diving is one of my all-time favorite hobbies, I think.
Where would you have you been to the Big Cat Museum in Spokane, Steve?
No.
Cattails?
No.
It's pretty sweet. They got a liger.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings
know
about
that was
those
a real
kinds of
thing.
places. It kind of depends. I need to know like the backstory of if like rich people bought those cats and then abandoned them, or they're just like there for profit. It depends.
You want to see them out in their natural habitat.
Yeah. Maybe take out a few poachers while I'm out there.
Yeah, there you go. How would you do it?
I just shoot them.
Just straight up?
Straight up.
Straight up, tell me, are you really ready to die? Yeah, Stevie's a big fan of big cats.
I'll go with you, man. That'd be fun. Can I come?
What? But why not
course.
bears? It's just cats for you.
No, I'm a fan of all. I'm literally watching an animal show right now.
What is it?
I'm watching seals and otters.
I'm watching seals. Is that the name of the show?
No, it's just like
Just watching them?
Nature Channel.
Yeah, man.
I always have it on. Our Planet, they do like 12 hours of just like animal things, like elephants and.
Yeah, every time we come into the studio, Stevie Baby's got like
putting them-
exotic 4K animal channel
Whales.
on all the monitors. We're like, this is pretty nice.
It's nice.
Super nice.
Super nice.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of big cats. And I like bears too. Oh, and to go back to that apex predator shit we were on the other day.
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so the definition of apex predator is a predator basically that doesn't have anything in its natural habitat that is a threat to it. So that's what makes a bear an apex predator. But
That doesn't
when I
have,
think
that has no other threats.
yeah, like nothing's naturally
Nothing's gonna take
hunting
it.
a bear. Like, you know what I
So, but what about humans?
mean? Well, humans, yes, we're an apex predator, but like us three aren't going out and hunting bears right now, like in its natural habitat, right?
Right, but a bear would be hunted. I mean, every animal is hunted by humans.
Okay, I'm just saying the definition of apex predator. Like in its natural habitat, a bear is at the top of the food chain.
Gotcha.
Okay?
It's
Gotcha.
an alpha
So that's
predator.
the definition of the predator, right? But like when I think of predator, like a bear doesn't go. The only bear that's really an apex predator is a polar bear, because all it does is go and hunt for food, like a shark or something. You know what I mean? That to me is what a predator is. A bear is a scavenger as much as it is a hunter. You know what I mean? It's an opportunist. It'll eat berries. It'll eat whatever's kind of around.
Right.
A lion hunts for food. That's a predator.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? So like that's
Yeah, so they're
that's
different.
the blurred line.
So even though a bear technically is an apex predator. It's a different predator than a lion
Like
or a polar
great
bear.
white shark. Like that's all it does.
Great white sharks will eat scavenge though. I mean, if they come across a whale carcass, they'll go all about it.
Of course.
Who
of course. Yeah, who wouldn't?
Blubber, dude.
I wouldn't, dude. I've had some sashimi that was old and was not good.
Oh, really?
A couple of belly bumps, but I'm glad we settled that apex predator situation.
Who was the one that called us out on that?
Jess Carpenter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she did come into the studio.
She
and
called me out.
Called him out.
fair,
Called
which
out
is
old
fair.
Stevie, baby. Shout out to Jess Carpenter. Hey Jess, we settled it.
We settled it, Jess. My dad has been on a few safaris, Steve, in
I know.
in Africa,
Yeah.
and I want to go with him just to go on a excursion like that, but I don't want to do the rest of the things. He goes over for like 3 weeks, and he's such a sweetheart. He'll go over and like build stuff for people,
Right,
like
I don't want to do any of
What
that.
is that?
work outside in
I'd
like
like to do all those types of things,
180
too.
degree weather.
No. I just want to be in a Jeep looking at cool animals.
Yeah, I want to be in a Jeep in a cage looking at animals that I'd never see in person.
And asking if there's a taco truck anywhere near.
Exactly. And then I want to I'm sure all those things are incredibly rewarding, but
course.
one time Dad got charged by an elephant.
Oh, the dream.
Jeez.
Yeah, like he brought, I think my two little sisters were over with him, or maybe just one of them. I feel like they were both there. And the one time he had brought like any family out on one of these trips, they came across a male elephant that like ran full tilt at the car and stopped at like, I forget the number, like 15, 20 feet.
Wow.
Which, dude, Julian running at me full tilt and stopping 15 to 20 feet. I am intimidated.
That's hilarious, man. I'm surprised your dad hasn't shown me pictures of that. Every time your dad starts talking about his safari trips, he starts pulling
Always
out his
pulling
phone.
out pics, yeah.
Pulling out his
Yeah.
And to his credit, he takes great pics, but he'll get you going for like 2
Oh my
hours,
God,
and
dude,
you're like,
we call him documentary Dan.
I'm done looking at pictures, Dan. He's like, oh no, you got to check this bald eagle out here.
This is
That's awesome.
This is a bowl of borscht, that's made from cabbage.
When we were in Alaska
okay?
and we were fishing, your dad was just trying to capture the most prized pictures of like the bald eagles up in the trees. He's just sitting there just like getting them, zooming in, zooming out, portrait mode, and just trying to change all the aspect ratios. It's like,
He loves it, dude. I'm
great.
curious if that's where I get my infatuation with cameras, because I definitely have an infatuation with
he's about that composition,
frame
man.
and composition. But Dad went through some shaky years. Because Dad,
Like shaky hands while taking a photo.
not shaky hands, but just like my dad is always trying to find the deals,
Right.
and he's always
Who's not?
well, I am always trying to find the deals, but on quality stuff.
Sure.
My dad, quality, the quality barometer doesn't really matter.
Sure.
It's just like, oh, I'm not gonna pay $300 for a camera when I can buy one at Goodwill for 14 cents. And so like there were many years of Dad bringing home photos from all of his trips, showing them to him, and be like, Dad, these are terrible pictures.
See anything?
Can't make out any of
You don't
these.
see that little smudge right there?
So, luckily though, like now that phones have like better cameras that are currently on satellites orbiting planet
That's
Earth,
crazy.
the pictures are turning out pretty well.
I did notice though that he does carry around his little like silver digital camera though.
He's had that thing for 30 years, bro. Still works.
Still 2K.
Still, is your dad like that, Steve? My dad just
No,
will
no.
never throw anything away. He'll have an electronic. I was like, Dad, you got this in college. Like, get a new one. It doesn't work.
No, he's starting to mail them up to us. He's starting to mail them up to me.
So awesome.
Speaking of parents mailing us stuff, one of our close friends, unfortunately, Janice, I got to call you out on this one.
Oh.
Mailed us a life-size John Cena.
No, she did. Yeah, Steph did that intentionally.
Steph nailed it.
Janice was walking down the street in Brooklyn, where I live, out of my house, and found a Superman, a Batman, and a John Cena, like 4-foot action figure. And she was, and like, of course, as Janice does, grabbed him and brought him over. She just wants to always get things. And Steph's the same way. Just like a dumpster diver. They're just like,
That's a thrifter more.
no,
more so to-
it's awful. It gets crazy.
Either way,
That thing scared Rudy.
that thing. First of all, Rudy was terrified of this. I mean, it's like the John
bigger than
Cena
him.
statue is bigger than him. It's like at least 3.5 feet tall. Just yoked up, shirtless John Cena. Like, why? It's been in our house for like 3 months, and every time I saw it, I'd be like, "What the fuck is that? What is that? Why is that here?" It's Janice, dude. Janice mailed it to me.
Yeah.
Bring it up here. We'll start placing them in weird places
Bro,
and do like a where's.
We
have you
tossed
seen
it
Cena?
That's why I'm telling you. I brought it to the dump yesterday and got rid of it. Could have brought it to Goodwill, but I didn't. I'm just like, the world doesn't need
belong.
this.
Doesn't belong in your house.
Yeah, man. All right, so that's our next goal. We're gonna shoot a spaghetti western and then utilize the proceeds to go take Stevie Baby on a grand safari.
Yay!
Damn, dude. Is it only in Africa that you do those?
Well, yeah, good question. I don't know. Is there like a northwestern safari?
I've been to like a northwestern. Yeah, I've been to like you drive in your own car like through.
Yeah, I mean you can do
an
like
area and it's-
Yellowstone or something, but I think like an African safari is
That's more your
more
temperature.
my speed. Yeah, I mean I'd like to go down to like the Amazon at some point too, but that's like a jungle trek. Mm-hmm.
Have you been to Yellowstone, Steve?
No. I mean I have, but I haven't done it. Like I haven't camped there. I haven't driven through it.
Yeah, Yellowstone's pretty sick. We went to Yosemite too. That was pretty rad. But Yellowstone, the bugger about Yellowstone is we didn't see hardly anything. We saw elk. Elk are everywhere in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Saw a couple moose, but no bears. I've never seen a bear in the wild. No, you guys?
I have, yeah.
I have. In Tahoe, they're all over the place.
I almost hit one time driving this huge black bear in the middle of the road. Just slammed on the brakes and the trailer like went on the side of the van. It was terrifying.
That's crazy.
Where we at?
Oregon?
Yeah, that's bear country.
NorCal? Oregon or NorCal?
Crazy that you haven't never seen any bears living out here. I feel
Never. Yeah, I mean, all of my friends have seen bears.
There's
and-
like black bears hanging out like the people in Tahoe.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen black bears in Tahoe too.
Yeah, California has an interesting bear situation because they don't. I think their season for like hunting bears is a little different than say up here or in Alaska. But yeah, I've never seen a wild bear. I would love to. I think I don't want to be like out and about. I don't want to be like I don't want to be like rolling up to a Whole Foods and have a handful of groceries. But maybe if I'm up in a vehicle, tall, high, doors closed, locked, it'd be a fun thing to see. Actually, well, it wasn't wild though. There's these little on your way to Montana, like Glacier. There's all these little like, see a real grizzly bear, like a billboard, right? Pull over in 15 miles. They give you a lot of time to think about it, which is really great. 160 miles, you're going to see a pull. 158 miles.
Yeah.
But me and I've stopped at that specific one like 4 or 5 times to see the same grizzly bears. It's incredible.
Wow.
But polar bears, have you guys ever seen a polar bear in real life?
Never seen a polar bear.
Just at the San Diego Zoo.
Yo, insane
They're
how much
huge.
bigger they are
They're
than
huge,
a
yeah.
grizzly.
Yeah, definitely in a zoo, but
Well, in a zoo, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. No, I mean, like, have you gone to the Arctic?
I kind of like to.
Like you and Wim Hof?
Yeah, you and Wim Hof.
Dude, I'm about to do some things with my life if I don't die first.
Okay, so let's put some things on the docket. We're gonna make a note. What are you going? What's the first thing you're gonna do? Climb Mount Rainier?
I'm gonna climb Mount Rainier for sure. I was gonna do a marathon, the New York City Marathon, like 4 years ago, and then my friend had done it the year before, a photographer friend of mine. And so I reached out to him and I was just like, hey man, like, what was your process? And he sent me like the whole entire training schedule.
Yeah.
I looked at it and was just like, fuck this, dude.
Not gonna do that.
No, because I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, I run pretty frequently, so I'll do like, 3 or 4 miles or something like that. 5 to 6 if I'm getting crazy. But this is like, 4 days a week running like long distance.
Yeah.
Like 10 plus miles to train.
Did you say it's a New York half marathon?
No, New York City Marathon is.
Yeah, it's like 27 miles. It's a marathon,
like
right?
26.2 or something like that, yeah. Which is like so, because when you start listening to these guys like David Goggins and stuff, and all these other people are like, dude, a marathon is nothing in comparison to you just have to build up your stamina, really. You just have to because you're going to get into that runner's high. Your legs are going to fucking hurt. I've been around in New York to talk to all the people after those marathons, and I've even had a lot of friends do them. Like, yeah, man, once you're done with it, it sucks because your body's super sore, but it's awesome. And it's, I think
you can't just go do it.
Right. I know. I
got to train.
Well, you
for it.
can, but you're probably going to, hurt yourself. I want to train. Like, that's part of the experience is training and doing
there's
that.
I don't know why I'm forgetting his name, a comedian who did 27 marathons in 29 days.
God.
Some crazy amount, every day did a marathon and was just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
It was I listened to an interview with him. He's like, yeah, I never really trained or anything. I just decided to do it.
Was he Australian?
Did he have Down syndrome? No. That was supposed to be English, but I kind of half-massed it a little bit. It was
I was like,
that was my flaccid.
He didn't tell us who he was.
Don't
he just
know
gave
if
us his dialect.
Yeah, who's? I gotta find him.
Yeah, I mean, a marathon isn't real. That's a goal, but it's that's totally doable, man. There are things that are. My brother went to Nepal and he got to the bottom of Everest. He climbed up the base camp of Everest and was just dude, this was crazy. Because there's that hike in and of itself is already apparently super gnarly,
dude.
Wow.
So it was Eddie. You can look at it here, Steve, on the screen. British comedian runs 29 marathons in 29 days. Eddie Izzard.
Oh yeah, Eddie Izzard.
And he did it with
what did he sound like?
What?
What did he sound like?
I'm doing a marathon again. Shit! Did another marathon.
Is he like a trans person?
Yes. Well, I don't know if he's
I don't know if he is. He dresses
are they?
in
he's
drag.
like a cross dresser. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure if he is
He's hilarious.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Look at his hat. Make humanity great again. That's a great hat. 29 marathons in 29 days,
Wow.
dude.
That's crazy.
That's 27
Eddie.
miles a day. Way to go, Eddie. And
In
he was in his
heels, too?
50. Yeah. You did it. You did it in Skechers.
Great, man.
And he's
Yeah.
in his 50s or 60s. How old is Eddie Izzard?
He's got to be up there, man. He's been doing it a long time.
It's so crazy, man, because there's so many things in my life that I want to accomplish, and being an actor at the top of wherever it is that I want to be is not really as important to me as doing a lot of these other experiences, having these really cool milestone life goal experiences for myself.
So what are they? You want to climb a big mountain?
Yeah, I want to climb a
You
big
want to
mountain.
do a silent retreat?
I just want to do I don't know, silent, sure. I don't think those last any longer. I mean, I'm sure there's a spectrum of how long they last, but yeah, a week or something like that. I want to go out to India and do some meditative retreat of some kind and sit with, I don't know, and maybe this is romanticized by watching movies or hearing
Yeah, I
about
was
other
curious
people's
about
stories.
that. How much of that is
a lot,
is
but
the PR campaign that comes from oh, you should do an ayahuasca trip.
Right.
That's kind of the hot thing to do seemingly, which granted, I'm sure there's some incredible benefits from all of these things, but there is definitely especially in the art world and in the art circle,
Totally.
all these badges of honors, oh, you haven't done DMT?
Yeah.
You haven't experienced the and granted, I'm sure DMT is great, but my question is, how much of it is that, and how much of it is a genuine curiosity that you've found aside from that?
Yeah, I mean, most of it comes from hearing about it and then being oh, that seems like something that would scare the shit out of me and intimidate me, which leads me to believe I would want to do that so that I could kind of break through that experience for myself. I just want to try things that I'm challenged by. I just want to do things that freak me out and get out of my comfort zone. Because every time that I start to get comfortable, I'm just I get anxious, and then I start feeling shitty about myself, and I just want to
I'm going to kidnap you and keep you in a basement.
I just want to get.
Steve's just gonna kidnap you and give you shoulder rubs.
At the end of the day, I just feel at the end of the day, and it might be ignorant of me to say because it's not happening, but I kind of like want to get lost so that I can kind of reroute and find myself in those experiences, and whatever that is for me, I just want to I want to put myself in that position to kind of experience that.
You enjoy the thrill of coming back to the surface, so to speak.
Yeah, I just want to. Yeah,
because you had an incredibly, let's call it focusing time in your life. What, 4 years ago did you quit drinking? That was like you went through some pretty monumental changes in your life.
Straight to Rikers.
Yeah.
Straight to Rikers. Yeah, dude, we're putting
That
you
was
right
beforehand.
putting you right next door to Ghislaine Maxwell. And so I've heard you express quite a few times that you would love to have that happen again. You would love to try and like find that thing again, which was giving up drinking and focusing on your script and being single and right?
Yeah, I think that I am in a pretty cool position in my life at this point because I don't have any real ties. I don't have any real like responsibility to anything. I want to be a responsible person. I don't just want to go out and like be a complete moron. But yeah, that the example of removing drinking from my life for the period of time that I did was such a revelatory experience for me that I'm constantly kind of chasing these experiences that will like push me into new territory that I haven't experienced before. That feels like, God, this is really weird, but let me adapt and figure out what comes from this.
Yeah, you kind of seem to get off on how much, like, there's an aspect of discipline that seems to need to be involved in these excursions of your own that you get off on. Like, how much can I test my body? How much can I test my mind? How much can I test my spirit?
I think when you start to realize that you are way more in control of your life than you have been giving yourself credit for, you start to live your life a little bit differently than you had been. And I certainly, before turning 30 and stopping drinking, was living my life on this like coasting kind of approach where I was just like, yeah, I'm drinking, I'm having fun, people like me, I'm popular, I'm having a blast, I'm an actor in New York, and it's just like not taking control until you do, and then realizing, holy shit, I actually can do so much. I have the capacity to do really awesome things if I just decide that I will do them. And it's learning that going to the gym or going on a meditative retreat or going, to climb up Mount Everest or whatever it is that you do, typically the hardest part is just putting your shoes on and like going out the door to like doing that thing. Because the idea of committing to something is so much harder than the actual execution of doing it.
Well, even commitment is a hard concept.
Yeah.
Because like we think of commitment as a lifetime journey, and in reality, the execution of commitment is like a presence thing. Just doing it then is really what commitment is. It's not, sometimes when I think about commitment to anything, I think about my entire life, which is so meta, right? Because our entire life doesn't exist. Our now exists, and we base the future off of our perception of the past. And so we think, well, hopefully I got some, cross my fingers, I got 20 more years left, right? But like my issue constantly with commitment is always thinking of it too big. And maybe what you're attempting to say in like the hardest thing is just putting on your shoes. Well, obviously not. Obviously putting on your shoes is not the hardest part, but I guess maybe what you're saying from that is like the hardest Steve. Well, yeah. The hardest part is obviously going out and running 5 miles is harder than putting on your shoes. But the hardest part is overcoming the obstacle that you put in your own mind about how hard committing to anything is going to be.
Right. I just think that I have by no means done these exceptional things that I hope that I will do in my life, but I have done things that I didn't think that I was able to do. And in doing them, the takeaway wasn't that was so challenging. The most challenging part was committing to the idea of thinking that I could.
Right.
Like singing baritone in a boy band?
Like singing baritone in a boy band, dude. My bass notes were thumping, bro.
Get them thumpy Teddy Pendergraft.
Yeah.
Tones.
So yeah, I just kind of want to push myself and see where I can go, because I'm 34 years old, man. I'm like at the peak. We're all at like the peak of our lives right now, I feel like. I mean, and we have more. I mean, no, sorry. We're not at the peak of, like, we are in like the prime time.
I'm never going to reach the peak.
They have a pill for
I'm
that.
constantly going to be like, nah, this is something better than this.
Oh, sure. But like, I'm just saying, like, we're in our mid 30s. I think, from like a physical standpoint, we are actually like where.
Right. It's downhill from here.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe, you can continue to work to make yourself do more and get more. And I'm not saying like, oh, by the time I'm 45, I'm going to be like fucking worthless. I think like, into my 60s and 70s even, I'll hopefully be, if I'm not dead, I'll be like in great shape and doing awesome things and continuing to test myself and just kind of upping that. And it's like you said, you're never going to peak. You're always going to want something more. And
well, I peaked in middle school. I mean,
I peaked in 4th.
Right around the time you were just watching 18 hours of Doug every day.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Same episode over and over. While Eddie Izzard's out running 400 marathons, you're just, Hey Arnold.
That's it.
And
dude.
chimichangas.
That's it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you're going to continue to challenge yourself, Jules, because I actually have a lot of chores for you to do. Why don't you challenge yourself to figure out how to make a new bathroom? You can remodel my bathroom.
You don't need a remodel.
That's a great challenge.
Bidet,
Steve,
dude.
are you in on this? Don't you think that's a great challenge for old JP Gavs? Figure out how to put in a in-ground pool?
I mean, it's not a bad one.
Totally.
Steve's into it.
Let's make enough money to put an in-ground pool in with the next spaghetti western, and then let's put a pool in. Where's it going?
I have so much credit card debt. If I make any money this year, it's going straight to that.
That's the best. Just straight up, now tell me, do you really want to love me together? I love when jokes come in that way. Just hardcore truth.
Hardcore truth, yeah. I have doctor bills.
I'm broke. Great.
Well,
what do you think?
Feels like a good place to wrap it up.
Steve, give us one rapid fire thing. Say whatever you want to say.
Fuck, dude.
I know, it's always the worst. Let me try. I can't think of anything either.
Chia pets. Should they
love
come
them.
back or what?
For sure, dude.
For sure.
Although I do
Send
feel
us
like
Chia Pets.
I do feel like if Chia Pets made a resurgence, some asshole would come out and be like, "You realize that this is like taking natural habitat away from natural habitat, from naturally habitating in a natural habitat."
Can we make Chia Pets of ourselves? Like different plants that grow, like Al's hair, Julian's hair, and my beard.
Oh my God. If we could have that as a merch item, I would sell at least 30 of them. Every time I come up with a merch item and I'm like, oh, this is going to rock it.
Yeah.
Never sells. It's always the ones that I'm like, I would never buy this.
Right.
That just fly off the shelf.
Yeah. I sang karaoke with Alan Stone, and this is the dumbass t-shirt that I got from doing it. It's just like people bought that thing all over the place on our karaoke tour. I couldn't believe it. It was such a stupid shirt.
No, I mean, I thought that one was going to sell it because that's in homage of like those old shirts that like my parents went to the Grand Canyon. All I got was a stupid shirt.
Right, I know, I get it, but I in my opinion, I was like, this is so. I bought one of our Rounding Third shirts.
Those were good
wait
shirts
to get it. Just rocking my.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of research on. Let's see, custom.
Do you think people would buy? You think people would buy our custom Chia Pets and or?
Well, you can get an Abraham Lincoln.
How good's this hoodies?
People, would you buy How Good's This hoodies?
I doubt it.
I probably would buy one for myself.
Yeah, I was
I'd
gonna
buy
say
one too.
you and Steve would be our only customers.
Hey,
Do they come in?
we got to
big?
start like having conversations with some of the people that watch this thing and having them like ask questions and dial in and be like, hey, what's up? I'll buy some stuff, or I'll give you guys ideas of talking points or whatever. Because I think
That's your world, bro. You're in that DM life, son.
yeah, but
Anyone's a clay worker out there, make us some chia heads.
dude,
Yeah, dude, look, there's a Weird Al Yankovic Chia pet. Come on, man.
you guys want to buy one and put it right here instead of this guy? Who's this guy? Buenos? This middle ground man is just kind of scaring me.
Oh, they got a President Obama Chia pet.
Look at that one, dude.
They got a
Yeah.
Rose from the Golden Girls Chia pet.
What have they got? 4-leaf clovers coming out of her head?
Oh, they got what was that?
Oh yeah,
Guy's name.
God damn, what's his
Richard
name?
Simmons?
Richard Simmons. Yes. Oh, they got a Garfield one. Dude, they got some
that a Rick and
Bob
Morty?
Ross Chia pet.
I'm getting it.
I'm getting it
Where do you buy this?
right now.
Oh, out of stock.
Get off.
Mr.
course, that
T
makes
Chia,
sense.
bro. Mr. T Chia is pretty sick.
I like that.
Oh, that's lame, dude, because it's like just a mohawk.
What? What?
I'm trying to get a full grow, dude.
Oh, yes, dude. Dustin
might have
from
to-
Stranger Things. Fire, bro. The ancient alien guy.
It's Shia LaBeouf, dude, in big trouble, man.
Shia pet.
There's no way that that's a real thing. That's fake. Yeah, folks at home, if you're listening, and you can figure out a way to make us chia pets, we will accept them.
Yeah. This has been great.
This has been great.
This has been wonderful. Thank you, folks, for listening. We love you very much. We
Oh.
hope you're well. No, we'll do that
Okay.
later. Love you very, very, very much, and happy chia petting.
Happy chia petting.
Oh, boo-boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/live at the lodge, where you can support the How Good's This podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep, yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/live at the lodge.